column addition 3, adding using decimals. You should know that decimal points should line up underneath each other. This is actually exactly the same technique as you did in the video before. So we're using our carry on 10, carry on 100, etc. But actually the only difference is we're now working with decimal numbers. It's really important when working decimal numbers that we make sure that we line them up in place value. So when I'm looking at the example 12.3 add 4.6, I know that I need to line it up so the decimal points are all underneath each other. So if I've got 12.3, when I look at 4.6, I'm going to make sure my point is in the right place first. I've got 4.6. My addition is then exactly the same as the video before. Okay, let's just remind ourselves, if I actually look at the place value, I've got tens, units, I've got my decimal point, and then I've got tenths. So first of all, always start from the right hand side. I'm adding up my tenths. I've got 6 tenths, add 3 tenths, gives me 9 tenths. My decimal point stays in the same place underneath each other. I look at my units, I've got 2, add 4, makes 6. Then in my tens, I've just got 1. So my answer is 16.9. Let's have a go at another one together, a one that's got a few more decimals in. Exactly the same as before. I'm going to line these up according to their place values. Because this one's a little bit more complicated, to help you, I'm going to put their place value above the numbers. So I've got 3 units, 7 tenths, hundredths, tens, units, tens, units, tenths, and hundredths. I'm now going to set up my place value. I know the biggest number with place value in my question is hundredths, and I know that my smallest one is hundredths. So I'm going from hundredths, tens, units, decimal point, tenths, hundredths. Then I'm going to start lining my numbers up. So I've got 3.7, 172, 72.36. You could just do this addition by looking at it like this. Sometimes, to help us, maths teachers put in an extra step. Actually, where there's gaps, I'm going to put in zeros, and I'm also going to put the decimal point in each number. Please note, you do not have to put the zeros in. It might just be helpful for you. Let's have a look at our hundredths column. Remember, you always start furthest to the right. Okay, so looking at our hundredths column, 0 add 0 add 6 is 6. Looking at my tenths column, 7 add 0 add 3 makes 10. So I've got 10 tenths. So that's no tenths and 1 unit. So I move my unit over to the units column. Look at my units column. 3, 2, 2, 1. So altogether, I've got 8 units. Look at my tens column. 7 add 7 is 14. But remember, we're working with the tens column, so I'm actually doing 70 add 70 is 140. 4, 1. Goes in the hundreds column because my answer is 140. What's in my hundreds column? 1, and the 100 I carried over from before is 2. So my answer to this question is 248.06. There are now 4 questions on the board. Pause the video and have a go at these. Okay, let's start going through these together. Looking at the first one, 4.28 add 2.62. See how I'm careful? The hundredths, the tenths, my decimal points are all under each other, and my units are. Looking at my hundredths column, 8 add 2 makes 10. No hundredths left, 1 in my tenths column. Looking at my tenths column, 2 add 6, add the 1/10 we carried over before, gives me 9/10. Make sure your decimal points go under each other. Look at my units column, 4 and 2. 4 add 2 is 6. My answer is therefore 6.90. If you wanted to be here, we could be a little bit smart. Because there's no hundredths, and it's a thing with the least amount of value on my page, that's actually the same as just writing 6.9. Let's go have a go at the other one. So, think about your place value. Tenths, hundredths, tenths, units, tenths. Make sure we're lining these up. Tenth, unit, decimal point, tenths. 13.7, add 4.5. Now let's get adding. Tenths column, 7 add 5 makes 12. So that gives us 2/10 and 1 unit I'm carrying to my units. I'm putting it underneath. I've then got 3 units, 4 units, and 1 unit, which gives me 8 units, and 1 in my tens column. So it's just 18.2. Let's have a look at the one on the bottom left. So, yet again, line them up. Tens, units, tenths. Units, tenths, hundredths. Tens, units, decimal point, tenths, hundredths. So we'll change colour to make it a little bit easier for us to see here. Okay, let's get them lined up. 42.3, 1.98. This might be a place, when we did it before, if you wanted to, you could put those zeros in only if they helped you out. Hundredths column, I've just got 8 hundredths. Tenths column, I've actually got 12/10. 12/10, okay, is I've got 2/10 and 1 unit. Adding up my units, 2 and 1 and 1, I've got 4 units. Not forgetting that decimal point stays the same. In my tens column, I've just got a 4, so it's 44.28. Let's have a go at the final question together. Remember, looking at place value. 3.2, 17.5. See how I'm making the dots go underneath each other? And then I've got 0.08. Doing the hundredths first, start at the first numbers to the right. I've got 2 blanks. You could have put your zeros in there if you wanted to. 0 and 0 and 8 is 8. So 8 hundredths. 2 add 5/10 makes me 7/10. Decimal points go underneath each other. 3 units add 7 units is 10 units. So that's no units, 1/10. 1/10 and 1/10. So 1/10 and 1/10 makes 2/10. So my answer is 20.78. Well done if you managed to get all of those right.